What's up, y'all? We in the building. My name's Johnny, and this is Johnny Live. Yo, we are like 26 days from the election. Like, it's gonna really happen. It's gonna really go down. In 26 days, we gonna see which direction the country gonna go into. Either we'll be conservative all the way damn there, or we're gonna be democratic all the way, damn near. So I don't know if there's in between right now. I don't know if there is a middle ground. I don't know. It's like winner takes all. People are saying that even if Kamala Harris wins, she got to win both the House and the Senate to even just be able to do anything. And same thing with Donald Trump. It's going to have to be a lot of winning or a lot of losing going on during this election, but it's going down. It's 26 days from the election. Now, I got a video that I want to show y'all. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Roland Martin show, but I'm going to show a little video clip about the Roland Martin show and how this particular guy feels about Donald Trump. This is very interesting. So I want to make sure that I play it for you guys. And I want to say this before I play the video. These are not my opinions. I'm gonna make a little stroll down there. These are not my opinions. These are opinions of videos that came across that was sent to me, and I thought it would be good for a podcast. So I want to put it on, and I want you guys' thoughts. Now, when you respond, don't respond and come at me because all I'm doing is showing y'all. So I know people out there that want to come at me and be like, "Rah, rah, rah." Slow down. I am just the person who's bringing what I see to the forefront so we can talk about it and we can discuss it. All right? So chill the fuck out. I'm just playing. I'm just joking. But yo, check it out. This is really interesting.
Started refusing to rent apartments to black people. He wanted the Central 5 Park
Y'all
to
remember when
actually
Trump
be
went rent to black people?
executed.
We all heard
So
about that.
here's some other things that Trump has actually said about black people.
Wages too high. We have to leave it the way it is.
I worked at fast food for over 30 years, and I had to support my kids off of that money. Minimum $7.25.
It's rough to work 2, 3 jobs just to make ends meet. You have to decide whether you're going to eat or pay your bills.
Look at how well the black community has been doing under this administration.
Did y'all hear what he said about folks from the Congo?
I did. I heard that shit. Listen, y'all.
Among the worst in the world. They come from the Congo in Africa. Many people from the Congo. I don't know what that is, but they come out of jails in the Congo. You know, they're letting their jail population come into the United States.
You have to understand, he always talking about people coming in and scary people coming in. You have to understand, those are tied to black people and brown people. He's always talking about black and brown people. Listen.
Their jails are being emptied into the United States. Their gang members are being taken out of Caracas, Venezuela, and lots of other places, which was a rough city, very dangerous city. And they're being delivered into the United States, their gang members. And these are tough gang members. You see what's happening in Aurora.
So those are the things that this fool is out here saying. And let's just not mince words in terms of what we are dealing with. We are dealing here, Yolanda, with a man who despises black people. He would rather have immigrants from Norway, from Switzerland, from the Netherlands, pick any white country. He would love for them to come. He is specifically appealing to white racists. He is appealing to white fear. I keep telling people this. You know, my book was about white fear, and I saw this guy. He's a vlogger filmmaker named Dixon White. And man, Dixon was on fire in this video. Now, I'm warning y'all right now, Dixon used some language. So if y'all got a problem with language, y'all might want to go ahead and turn. But here's a white man just speaking truth about Trump's appeal to white people.
In
Listen to this, y'all.
2016, we have a openly and overt white supremacist as our president
4
elect,
minutes.
who is systematically hiring the most racist, vile human beings he can possibly get for
Wow.
administration.
What y'all
These
think?
are people that are known to be associated with Nazis. These are not quiet, shy white supremacists. These are openly vocal white supremacists, just like Trump led his campaign. He said, hey, I'm running for president, and yes, it's okay to be racist again. We can be open about it. Who needs to be politically correct? Trump said, I'm a racist and I'm proud, and so can you be. And here we are. Jim Crow 2.0, motherfuckers. Thank you, white America. You did it once again. Your apathy, your racial.
That's crazy. Like that's a big statement right there. And to see it coming from somebody who's not us, and to see on the other side, like I believe like they have insight. if they coming from the side that he is on, I believe that they have inside information. That's just me. They got inside information. Take a
Your
listen.
apathy, your ignorance, your callous, your complacency, your denial, your silence, your complicity racially
Silence.
has
That's
us
a big
right
one.
where you want us. And you think you're fucking helping yourself? You think this white supremacist motherfucker's gonna care about your broke ass white America? They're not gonna care. And you think, oh, well, I'm not broke, I'm rich, I'm protecting my own, I'm a rich white man. You think you're helping yourself? You think you're helping yourself but living a lie? You think you're helping yourself with all the distrust, with all the racial strife that's happening and that's coming? You think you're helping yourself spiritually, morally? Do you really think this is good for our country? White supremacy, white nationalism, rampant for the next 4 years. God knows what this motherfucker's gonna do and his racist cabinet. God knows how many years he's gonna try to take us back. He's got the Senate, he's got the House, he's gonna try to affect the Supreme Court. Thank you, white America. You ignorant racist motherfuckers who voted for Trump. You really think you're helping your cause. All your fear, you're so threatened. You're so threatened by the Mexicans, by the illegal
This is not my opinion. I'm gonna put that out there again. This is not my opinion.
aliens, by the immigration, the immigrants. You're so scared. You're so scared of anything that's not white. You've been taught, oh, I've got to protect my whiteness. I've got to protect my privilege. I've got to protect my status. I've got to remain on top. This country was made for me. I'm Mr. White. You're pathetic. You're disgusting. And you're a psychopath. It's social, psychological narcissism. That's what white supremacy is.
All right, let's
And
play
it's
some R&B.
systemic. And it's working very well. When will white America face the reality of what they've done, what they're doing, and where they're going? White America, you're taking us all to hell, straight to hell. You think you're just hurting people of color? You're destroying your very self and you're destroying your country. Until white America can come out of denial, face the white supremacist culture that we are, we will never know peace.
Well, damn, Jolanda. He laid it
Well,
out.
damn.
He laid it out in 4 minutes and 9 seconds.
Well, he certainly did. And you know what? This is what white people are terrified of. They are terrified that if black people get into power, we're going to do to them what they did to us. So that's why they're trying to hold on to power. I'm going to say that again for people who didn't understand. They are terrified that when we get in power, we're going to do to white people what white people have done to us. They are afraid we're going to stack the courts. They're also afraid that they're not making enough babies. And so they have to, while they still are in power, gerrymander and stack the courts and make anti-black laws in order to protect their superiority, because they do not, and let me be clear, it's superiority in their name only. It's not actual superiority. And so, and let's be clear, this country was founded on white supremacy. They came and took land from the Native Americans and the Mexicans, and it was all about white people. Remember, the only people who could own land were white men who actually owned property. Women couldn't even do it. So this country was founded on white supremacy, and they're just trying to hold on to it. And what I don't understand about black people, one, is why we don't do our homework, because Donald Trump is racist. Donald Trump paid back with the Central Park Five. I believe they said he paid $75,000 for that ad. You know how much $75,000 is to say that they should be executed for a non-capital crime? So Donald Trump has always been racist. He always picks racist countries from Africa, Haiti, even in Venezuela. And he talks about black people in other states, in Aurora, Colorado, and wherever. And that's what he does. So why anybody, let's say he did give us $1,200, which I'm not convinced that was under him, right? We're going to vote this country into hell for $1,200, when if we had better wages, we'd make way more than $1,200 over the course of a year. So we're not thinking, and I don't understand.
But it's not just us, okay? Listen, this is what I keep trying to remind people, Avis. 69 to 70% of the total electorate is going to be white. The numbers are the numbers. And what we're facing, it's white fear. Matthew Iglesias, Dave, why is it escaping me? He follows me. Weigel, okay. Twice in the last 3 days, both of them tweeted. They were like, Democrats were the most pro-union. They gave them everything they want. So maybe Democrats need to stop being so far left. And I said, stop. Matter of fact, let me pull up the Iglesias tweet, because it's amazing how these folk, like, they go a long way and don't want to say white. Let me find his tweet, because I saw it and I was like, bro, did you leave something out? I said, it seemed like you left something out. Give me a second. Hold on.
That's what we're talking about, y'all.
Let's see here. And I've seen several of these tweets, and these white journalists just don't want to call out whiteness. What they do is that they want to dance and hop, skip around every single thing, but they don't want to just say white. So every time they keep talking about union workers, they keep saying, well, the Democrats and, the union workers. And I'm like, no, the white union workers, the white Teamsters, the white firefighters. If you have union workers that are turning their back on the most pro-union administration ever to back Donald Trump, they are supporting whiteness and not their pocketbook, Avis.
Absolutely, 1,000% true. I mean, here's one of the reasons why the right wants to demonize critical race theory, because a critical race theorist would tell you that the power behind this form of racism, of not naming it, is that you are normalizing and centering whiteness as it is such the normal thing that you don't have to mention it, right? And so then when you make it invisible, the insidious nature of what it does then goes unchecked. Okay, so you're exactly right. It's not just union members, and there's a reason why you have a lot of white women who will vote against what one would think is their interest. There's a lot of reason why you would have poor white people vote against what you would think is their interest. It's because they're not in those moments prioritizing their rights. They're not in those moments prioritizing their economic possibilities. In those moments, they are protecting whiteness. And they are protecting the invisible benefits that we all know they get, that are institutionalized, that are built into the system, and just this false sense of superiority that Donald Trump strokes so well for them, right?
Wow.
They're voting to protect whiteness, even if it makes no logical sense with regards to their economic well-being, with regards to their ability to have dominion over their own bodies, with regards to all of those things. Whiteness in this country has value, and nobody knows that better than white people, even if they don't want to name it and claim it.
I'm sitting here looking at this here, Julian. Go to my iPad. So this is what Matthew Iglesias tweeted. Biden-era Democrats have been more supportive than ever of blue-collar unions, but gotten less support than ever from blue-collar union members. Probably better to just be more moderate on cultural issues and environmental stuff and labor. So I actually responded by saying, Matthew, did you leave out something? I think you left out white. And if you go, no, go back to my iPad. So I just want y'all to go. So when you start going down here and looking at all these responses and, oh, this is reasonable and fair enough, a center-left coalition whose base is suburban, well-educated white women is not key to long-term success. But they still missed they got the wrong white part. Demo and far left and alien, you all on the far left have been pretty successful in alienating us suburban women. Good job. Well, that's a lie. They've been attracting them. And so then you keep going in the old class warfare design. Oh, here we go. Keep old moderates and the environment. Oh, it's the education polarization overrides material interest in this new information age. See, y'all, Democrats should adopt all of my preferred policy positions. You keep going to cultural issues and moderate and all these people, they just keep, but they're just ignoring, and they don't want to. And then this person say, just go ahead and say black folks and LGBTQ folks and cut the bullshit. The way y'all will dance around the truth to appease racists as white folks is so American and more so than apple pie. This is why black folks have a deep distrust of politics and side-eye the Democratic Party. Okay, that's that person. Okay, so then you keep going and looking at all this content. Just keep going and looking at. They don't want to confront the elephant in the room, Julian. And that is massive numbers of working class people who are in unions are black and Latino. Who are they supporting in huge numbers? Vice President Kamala Harris. You look at the Teamsters. The Black Caucus in the Teamsters came out before the Teamsters made their decision, said we're down with Vice President Kamala Harris. Okay? You look at firefighters are racist and sexist. Firefighters endorsed Democrats going back to the 60s. The two Democrats they refused to endorse was Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. Well, what the hell do they have in common? Anatomy. I mean, we go on and on and on. The fact of the matter is, these white journalists print, broadcast, digital, whatever. They don't want to confront whiteness. Because if they do, they got to look in the mirror, Julian. This is a fundamental problem. This is why political journalists keep missing the story, and it's sitting right in front of you. How can Biden-Harris be the most pro-union administration in more than 50 years, and these union workers are not supporting her? They're white male union workers, and Julian, guess what? Unions are overwhelmingly comprised of, especially trades and others, white men.
Wow.
Well, the trades are primarily comprised of white men. But if you look at SEIU, you look at some of the other unions, they are heavily black and brown. Indeed, when you look at the Teamsters, what a disappointment that they refused to endorse Harris, although President Biden, basically took the chestnuts off the open fire with legislation to help settle some of their differences with their employers. I mean, he went on a limb for them, and for her not to get that endorsement really does speak to, as you say, their racism, their underlying racism. They'll never say it was racism. They'll have some other reasons, but that's exactly what it is. The challenge is that, and by the way, there's a very good article in the New Yorker this week, talks about the worker revolt and tries to explain why workers have tilted away from the Democratic Party. The author alleges that there's this coastal elitism among Democrats, but Democrats are all over the place. It's not coastal elitism. When you look at, however, the Detroit Teamsters did support Vice President Harris. I believe that Pennsylvania also did. Many key Teamster unions who are in urban areas did support Vice President Harris. And the mistake that the Teamsters made, they claimed they took a straw poll or something. I know a whole lot of people said they never got the poll. So this might have been a selective poll that went to certain people to justify what is a poor decision. But back to the whiteness thing, I mean, you're right, they have to deny it. But you don't have to they don't have to say white. Just look at Project 2025. Anti-DEI.
No. But the reason I gotta stay on that in the workers is because if you keep running from it, then you get this trash analysis on the air. Andrea Mitchell. Well, I think Kamala needs to do more interviews with major press because I was talking to business leaders, and they say they don't know what her economic policies are. And so they don't know her positions. Hillary Clinton had policies coming out the wazoo. See, so that's all nonsense. The reality is you have to put it on the table. And that is Donald Trump is pressing the buttons of white fear. They don't even want to deal with it. Remember 2016, economic anxiety. I was like, black and brown people are the brokest damn people in the country. So if there's anybody who should be anxious about the economy, it's black and brown people. But nope, that ain't the case. What we are facing constantly is a white media infrastructure that simply is ill-prepared to deal with the realities on the ground and calling a thing a thing. It is whiteness. It is, and see, the problem is, they don't want, they keep using the phrases, we don't like appealing to that kind of politics. We don't want to appeal to gender-based politics. We don't want to deal with race-based politics. We don't want to deal with identity politics. Whiteness in America is an identity.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely it is. But what happens is, what's dangerous about not addressing it specifically, it's the same thing as what, raises the hair on the back of my neck when I hear somebody say, I don't see color, right? When someone wants to say that they want to be racially blind. The reality is that you see color. I see color. Unless literally you are colorblind, you see color, okay? But when you claim to not see color, what you are doing are two things. Number one, you're erasing seeing me and my wholeness, my history, my reality. But at the same time, you are also allowing the normalcy of built-in advantages, built-in institutionalized racism to continue to go unchecked. That is the benefit of not naming it. Because when it becomes the status quo, then it's never challenged. Then it's just reality. And no one wants to admit that that reality needs to be changed. If you were to name it, then a moral country would require that you address it. But not naming it allows the power to remain entrenched, unchecked, unchallenged, and unchanged. And so that's exactly what is happening in this reality, where the normalcy is not naming a thing when a thing is a thing. And when you do that, then you never address the thing. There are advantages to not addressing it and institutionally, and there's advantages to not addressing it personally. And that's exactly what we're seeing in terms of not only the white vote itself, when certain segments are clearly voting against their self-interest, but also with certain institutions, like what you're mentioning here, Roland, because there are advantages to not naming a thing. If you want to have access to the same power, the same financial resources, those things that you need in order to continue to get your ambitions fulfilled.
Yeah, I mean, so I just, again, and there are a couple of anchors on cable news. I've been hitting them in the last 3 or 4 years, and I'm like, when y'all gonna deal with whiteness? When you gonna deal with whiteness? They don't want to deal with whiteness, and it keeps happening.
I worked in the Trump administration.
Never in a million years did I ever think that I'd be working in the White House with a president that didn't care about the American people.
He would suggest not giving disaster relief to states that hadn't voted for him.
I remember one time after a wildfire in California, he wouldn't send relief because it was a Democratic state. So we went as far as looking up how many votes he got in those impacted areas to show him these are people who voted for you. This isn't normal. The job of the president is to protect Americans, regardless of politics.
If Trump's elected again, there'll be no one to stop his worst instincts. You'll have yes men help him implement Project 2025's agenda. Unchecked power, no guardrails.
They will be serving one man. I am voting for Kamala Harris because she will put the safety and security of every American first, whether they voted for her or not.
Deep, y'all. I'm gonna leave it at that. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Leave your comments, questions, suggestions. We're gonna get out of here. Thank y'all for watching.